Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Neo from Back to Warcraft with good news! We have patch 1.30.1 on PTR with a lot of bug fixes and a few adjustments here and there. And of course, as always, I have a little presentation for you guys to sum it up, especially for the melee content that it's in this patch, so you know where you have to adapt to. And this is it. There we go. We have two new features, which can be pretty cool and is kind of like a preparation for something else. They say they have an updated Observer API. This is something you can't see at the moment, but you will, especially on our channel, I guess. Some features for observers. This is nothing that you can see in Observer mode at the moment, but some work that is in the back end, I guess, of Warcraft. Also, large address aware is enabled now on some machines, they say. Large address aware is a little help for 32-bit applications when they run on 64-bit operation systems. So usually you have a limit of how much memory can be used. This helps to use more memory on newer machines, as far as I know. So, yeah, once again, some preparation for the future, I guess. Maybe it helps some custom games to use more memory, or it helps the game in general. We will see, but yeah, this goes into the infrastructure of Warcraft, which is never a bad thing. Then, as I said before, lots of bug fixes. First of all, the mouse is finally fixed for native full screen. They said that in the last patch as well, but this time it should really work. I saw a video and that looked pretty cool. There were some workarounds with like VSync and stuff, but now it should work for everyone. Also, last patch, they switched to another sound system in the back from the old one to the sound system that basically every Blizzard game is using at the moment. And that caused a few fixes that led also to game, to crashes and stuff, and to sound not being enabled. Some sounds were missing. That's all fixed, alongside a lot of bugs that caused the game to crash. I mean, I think everybody experienced that from like now and then. Every 5th game or so, I crash. I don't know how often it was for you guys out there. Most likely worse. And the super annoying thing of map veto preferences not being saved is gone. So if you downvote or veto a map now, it is saved when you start Warcraft the next time, and you don't have to do it over and over and over again, which is nice. I hope there's not more bugs coming into the game with this patch, but it's really fixes. We do have some gameplay bug fixes as well. Improved masonry cost correctly calculated. I don't really know what that means. Maybe it was the same issue that we had with the Necropolis, that like Masonry 3 had a total cost, and since they nerfed a bit, the cost weren't calculated correctly. I don't really know. I haven't heard about that bug, but they fixed it apparently. Fast build can't be transferred. That's a little more tricky to explain also, because not too many people have heard about this, I guess. If you fast build, let's say a town hall, like every second or third peasant that helps with a fast build adds 60% of that build speed to the building. That means, of course, since it's percentage-wise, for big buildings, it's faster than for small buildings. So you can glitch it in a way that, let's say you build a town hall, and then you do something, I don't really know what, and you glitch that peasant to keep the same building speed, for example, for a farm. And then, of course, the farm builds a lot faster than it usually should. And that's fixed now, so that's a good thing. We also do have some balance changes, and I really don't know about them again. One for human, one for undead, and once again it targets poor defense Footman. You know the changes, there was a big bug that attacks disappeared while using defend. That has been patched with 1.30 on the PTR already. Since then they are tinkering around a little with numbers, and in patch 1.30 we have 30% of the attacks that are reflected with 100% damage, and 70% of the incoming attacks that do 50% damage. Which is already a really big nerf to defend, compared to 1.29 and before. Now, on patch 1.30.1, it's again a 10% nerf on defend, because, okay, all the numbers for the incoming attacks and for the reflex stay the same, but the 70% of the attacks do 60% to Footman now and not only 50, so If I got that correctly, that's another 10% nerf per defend, and I don't know if that's necessary. We do have a change for the undead, because as you all know, Disease Cloud for the Abominations was buffed from 1 damage per second to 2, but not for the meat wagons. Guess what? That's changed as well. So if you attack a human town hall now with a meat wagon with Disease Cloud and the poor peasants are suffering, they're suffering twice as hard now, which makes, again, the life for the human a little harder. I don't know if that's necessary, again, but... Okay, meat wagons stronger now, hopefully more viable, as they were not much used before. Certainly a big buff for undead. We have 2 changes on maps, like we have changes on a few maps, but this is what is relevant for melee, so I want to start with that, or I want to get into that. Amazonia, we were all criticizing the lightning shield being back, and in patch 1.30 you have a quarter of a chance from those drops to get replenishment potion, wind of illusion, sentry wards, and lightning shield. In the patch notes they say reduce the drop rate for lightning shield to 50%. I assume, I haven't checked it yet because this is pre-patch recording, that they changed it by 50%, which means you get a run of a 30% chance for replenishment potion, wind of illusion, sentry wards, and then like 12.5% for lightning shield, which means that Blizzard admits that lightning shield is a bad thing and shouldn't be dropped too often, but they still keep it in. I don't know why that is. Maybe they will nerf it in the long time so that it doesn't do like less damage or something. But yeah, they admit that lightning shield is too strong or shouldn't appear this often, as it ruins games, especially for human once again. For Twisted, they reverted the tree locations to 1.29. This is something that Grubby pointed out on Reddit. Like another user pointed it out, but Grubby made some comments on it. Some trees were further away from the town hall or from stronghold, whatever. So in the beginning, you gathered gold a little fast, but in the end, it took way longer than before. So they changed the tree locations back to 1.29, and so they admit that they do mistakes. And yeah, that's the important thing, I guess. Lots of bug fixes. We don't really know how many. There's always some hidden stuff that they don't mention in the patch notes, but hopefully it does good. There were a lot of bugs with patch 1.30, and they start to fix them now. Hopefully they don't add more bugs. If you encounter bugs on the PTR, this is all of the PTR at the moment, feel free. We got a thread up at Reddit. I will link it here in the stream description, in the video description, and of course the official Battle.net forums as well. Yeah. Please play the PTR. Doesn't matter if you play on the PTR ladder or if you play against bots. Try to find bugs. Try to report the bugs as fast as you can. Therefore, Blizzard can start working on them as fast as they can and then push it out for the general public, since this is only on PTR at the moment. How do you like the changes? What do you think about the future with those infrastructure things improved, especially the memory? I would like to hear your opinion on that. And of course, the official patch notes are linked in the video description as well. Thank you for watching. This was Neo. Patch 1.30.1 is live on PTR. So what are you waiting for? Go test. Bye bye.